going, how it's looking for you, what you're talking about out there, and
Sure.
I know you want to talk about law enforcement as a progressive issue.
Well, law enforcement has been made a progressive issue because we have benefited from the most innovative sheriff in San Francisco in all of the nation. And when Sheriff Mike Hennessy was elected in '79, he was never a cop. He was, in essence, a prisoner legal services attorney, a social worker, if you will, never a cop. And he came into office and championed what a sheriff's department should become, unlike any other department in the state or had been in San Francisco, with the exception of some innovations generated by then Sheriff Hungista, 2 sheriffs before Hennessy, and in the United States. And it's been an impressive record that he's established for 30 plus years, our longest serving elected official in the city's history, for those Trivia Pursuit fans, and somebody who's always inspired me even long before I was elected as a supervisor. And becoming supervisor in winning the election of 2004, I sought the counsel of many in the criminal justice system, locally and regionally and above, about the remedies and solutions of what I can do to curtail the violence. And it was prolific and steady for many, many years, like the Bayview and Sunnydale and Viz Valley and Ingleside and Mission and Tenderloin and Soma, Western Dish and Fillmore and its adjacent areas. And I declared when I ran for office that progressives, liberals, have a role in the criminal justice system. I had felt that 10 years earlier when I was working for then Supervisor Terrence Hallinan and then ran his first campaign for district attorney, that this isn't something that we should shy away or really deem sacrosanct to conservatives, that they have the solutions and that our ideas aren't better. And our ideas are better because we've given those who have tried, I think, what has been a poor approach into reducing crime and violence for many years of decades to only now, I think, really spotlighting the fact that we have a better approach, we have better ideas, and Hennessy has helped establish that foundation. So when I came into office and sought his counsel, I wanted to really translate into real tangibles. I wanted to marry the power of redemption on one hand with being smart on crime on the other, gleaning from my law enforcement experience, gleaning from my community advocacy experience, and embarking on my legislative experience, put them all together and take back the streets from crime of my district. And we've been extremely successful. And you know, because you all have written about this time to time in my early days as a supervisor, that I had to push buttons significantly of law enforcement and then Mayor Newsom to deploy community policing tactics, because I think community policing is poorly exercised in San Francisco compared to many cities in the country, cities who really relish less of a forward-thinking or progressive reputation than San Francisco, but in my opinion are much more forward-thinking than we are, like Chicago, like in Austin, like in Boston, and other cities where there's greater engagement to minority communities, to non-English-speaking communities, where currency is developed between law enforcement, city government, and community to build trust so that it's a collective solution to take back the streets. And that's what we did after begging Mayor Newsom and Chief Heather Fong for foot patrols, where I was accused and criticized, and I still am, and I will be in the campaign against me by the Police Officers Union, for demanding that cops get their cars, not to try to be meddlesome with cops, but because they were not getting out of their cars, and they were not known to the community, and the community did not know who they were. And every time that there would be a murder, which I visited every single one, because I asked police dispatch to call me every single time, it was apparent of what the attitude was by city government. This is the Western Addition. It's just the way it is. This sort of like ho-hum, you know? And I'm like, oh, no way, not under my watch. I'm not going to let that happen. So I spotlighted the deficiencies of attitude and made it clear to the community that, we should demand better, whether it's a poor, middle class, or rich community. It's a civil liberty of being safe. And to be felt unsafe in San Francisco, whether you are in housing development, Section 8, redevelopment, housing authority property, or you are in the finest of Victorians, it's a civil liberty and nobody should be neglected for that. And it just so happens, that it's the same exact communities in San Francisco. Literally, you superimpose the map of where the greatest crime is, public safety challenges in San Francisco are exactly the same neighborhoods that are most economically disadvantaged and impoverished. No surprise, right? But the nexus between the two is the fact that it's the people coming out of the county jail system that are coming right back to the same exact neighborhoods that are inclined to repeat their crimes, that keeps this sort of cyclical behavior going on, and the police sort of on the edge of their seats to respond to a violent crime and to continue with the attitude of saying, this is just the way it is. So we broke that cycle in the Western Addition.